Welcome to another beautiful day right at East Talk Sport Live on your screen. This is Global Television reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch. I am going to be your sportsman for today, and like it has always been, we will be talking sport this morning, touching different angles, beginning from Nigeria. Back home, as Remo Star is already on top of their game for their female team, and then the Flying Eagles also are getting prepared. What about the statement that came from Karaga concerning the African Cup of Nations connected to Mohamed Salah of Egypt, as it has to do with the 2025 Ballon d'Or? A lot of persons are already saying that statement is really wrong. For you to say AFCON is not competitive around the world, that is African Cup of Nations, all the nations in Africa. All of these will be forming basis for our discussion this morning. We are talking sports this beautiful day. I will be right here, you will be right there. Remember that it's very essential for you to do one exercise every day. Even in your sitting room, you can do something to keep the blood flowing very well. It's part of sports too, and we encourage all of you to embark on exercise, all right, so that you can stay fit and watch the talk sport. Right, let's begin from the matches that is going down in the EPL. The title race is what we are talking about right now. Liverpool, as a matter of fact, tighten grip on trophy as Arsenal, Forest and even City stumble. The English Premier League, that is the EPL title race for the 2024-25 season, took another dimension following the conclusion. As a matter of fact, the conclusion of the match day 26 fixture that happened over the weekend, you can actually see that so much went down. We are going to take a revisit on that game again to just bring you to speed with what is happening from the EPL. Someone might say, well, that was over the weekend, but then there are some takeaways that we will be looking at on Talk Sport this morning. Let me just intimate you that, as a matter of fact, 26 fixtures went down. Liverpool were able to open an 11-point gap in the Premier League table already. Then following their win against the Premier League champions. The champions couldn't be champions that day. When it comes to Liverpool, you need to hold your grip very tight before you can actually do anything. Then Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium to first half goals from Mohamed Salah that we were just talking about, as it has to do with the Ballon d'Or of 2025. Remember, the Ballon d'Or for 2024, we had Ademola Lookman being shortlisted, even though he didn't get it. But then the shortlist was an encouragement. Then coming to Africa in 2025, we're looking at Mohamed Salah putting all his antecedents together from the world of sport. Then, as a matter of fact, Mohamed Salah was very instrumental in that game. The Reds now have 64 points from 27 games with 11 matches remaining for them to conclude the season. Liverpool's closest rival in the Premier League title race, that is Arsenal. When I say rival, I know the moment I say Liverpool's rival, a lot of people already knew I'm talking about Arsenal. As a matter of fact, the Gunners currently sit in the second position with 53 points from 26 games, and the Premier League North London club has 12 matches remaining to conclude this season. Behind Arsenal are Nottingham Forest, third position, and Manchester City with fourth position. Someone might be thinking, Manchester United behind Forest. Yes, that's how it is this time. Manchester United, of course, have won the title. They won it back to back for so many times, but then right now it will amaze you that they are behind the Forest and they are fourth position, completing their Premier League top four. Well, that's so good that they are still part of the top four. But just like Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, and Manchester City have all played a 26 game each. They have 12 matches remaining for them to conclude the season. Nottingham Forest has 47 points from 26 games, while Manchester City has 44 points from the same number of games played. Among the top four teams in the Premier League, it will interest you to know that in the league standing, only Liverpool won their game at the weekend. Was that not amazing? The likes of Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, and even Manchester City failed to win their fixture as mentioned earlier. But then Liverpool won 2-0 against Manchester City. As for Arsenal, they lost 1-0 against West Ham United at Emirates Stadium. Not nowhere else but Emirates Stadium. Then Nottingham Forest were defeated 4-2 against Newcastle United, who never came to play. They also came to get their own scores, and they didn't come there to play. The Premier League match day 27 will take place midweek, and that's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. That's today. And of course, Thursday, Liverpool will host Newcastle United at Anfield. Then Arsenal will clash with Nottingham Forest at City Ground. Manchester City will tackle Tottenham Hotspur in any way tie. But ahead of the midweek matches, some stakeholders in the game gave their view of the Premier League title race. Well, if time permits us, we might be looking at the fixtures proper so that you can know what we are up to. Let's get our guests to join us as we talk about what's happening in the Premier League and move to other things happening in Africa as the Fly Eagles to round off AFCON preparation in Abidjan. Let's go to a quick break. After this break, our guest will be joining us via Zoom from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria, as we talk sports together. It's so good that you are there and I am here, and our guest is also in FCT as we all talk sports together. Stay with us. We'll return for more stories from the world of sport after this break. Welcome back from that break. It's good to have you all join us on Talk Sport this beautiful Tuesday morning. It is the 25th day of February 2025, and already we are getting to the end of the month. Now our guest is joined us already as we talk sport on Global Television this morning. It's good to have you join us on Talk Sports this morning. Mehdi Pembi, all the way from the Federal Capital Territory. Good morning, Membi.
Good morning, Andrew. Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's begin from the EPL before we come back to Nigeria. The reason why we want to talk about that is because of how hot it is right now. Liverpool, Arsenal, and of course Nottingham Forest and Manchester City, some persons wrote Manchester City out already, that they are nowhere in the Premier League. Then Arsenal and Liverpool, everything going on in the Premier League, looking at what happened and the position of these clubs right now. It's getting tougher, it's getting slimmer. What is your take? What would you have to say about the EPL this season on a general note?
Well, on a general note, I would say it has gone one-sided. I mean, when you look at the table, just take a good look at the table. Liverpool is currently 11 points ahead of Arsenal, and by that stand, looking at that alone, I mean, that tells you the whole story. I think it has been, to my disappointment, it has been a one-sided affair.
Okay, it's been one-sided affair. All right, so let's move away from there and go to all the things happening from the world of sport. One-sided affair. What would you say? Someone said Chelsea may be picking up. What is your assessment of Chelsea in the EPL this season?
Well, it's just been full of inconsistency. I mean, just a few weeks ago, Chelsea were second. Now, they're finding it hard to even get into the top four. So that tells you all. I mean, Chelsea is not even in the picture. As a Chelsea fan, I will tell you, no sentiment, no about it. We're not even in the picture.
Oh, you are a Chelsea fan. All right, that's Chelsea is not in the picture right now. What about Manchester United? Are they in the picture?
Come on, come on, Ramsey. A team that is not even in the top 10. How can they be in the picture? How can they be in the
Why are you laughing at Manchester United like this?
Well, I'm not laughing. I mean, but just look at it. I mean, the team is not even in the top 10, and we have less than 15 games remaining. So they are not even. I mean, it has been. As a Chelsea fan, I want to be happy. That they're going through this crisis. But again, as a football fan, as someone who loves football, it's really saddening to see Manchester United, in this position, because it's not good for the league.
Is there anything you think Maresca should do differently?
Well, every Chelsea fan, from the beginning of the season, always, talked about the goalkeeper. I mean, Jorgensen was coming for Sanchez, and not quite much has changed. So I really feel with it to change the tactics. Personally, I would love to see Enzo taken out of the team for some time, because I really feel for the past 1 month he's been one of Chelsea's, permit me to use the word, worst players in the past 1 month.
Okay, well, you're a Chelsea fan and you're talking from the place of a fan. All right, let's move away from there. Flying Eagles to round off AFCON preparation in Abidjan. Nigeria's under 20 team, the Flying Eagles, will depart Abuja, and that's going to be for Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, where they are expected to round off preparation for the year's African Cup of Nations under 20 tournament. The Flying Eagles have been in camp in Abuja for weeks after head coach Aliou Zubairu called up 30 players for the friendly matches with Egypt's young Pharaohs. Meanwhile, following the circumstances, cancellation of the planned friendly matches against Egypt, the Nigerian Football Federation, that is NFF, said it has already secured a replacement team in order for the Flying Eagles not to leave camp without testing their strength ahead of the forthcoming African Cup of Nations under 20 Cup of Nations. What would you have to say about the Eagles? Remember when Chile first came, the first point of call was to visit them in the camp, and that postponement happened, and a lot of them were complaining that after missing the Christmas break, they don't have to play. They never had to play that game. It was postponed. Now, what do you really think of the Flying Eagles?
Oh, I think it's a good one, that there's a replacement game. Personally, I felt that, it wouldn't be great for them to leave camp without testing themselves. And, so I think it's a good one that they're going to play these friendly games. It's actually sad, however, that we couldn't get the games we wanted. But again, it's a good one in the right direction. And kudos to the NFF for for setting up an emergency game. So it is a good one. I'm very happy about it.
All right, let's talk about one of Nigeria's great players right now. Talking about Ademola Lookman, who has been in the picture for a while now. Talking about his movement. Italian Serie A and Turin giant Juventus is unlikely to compete with Liverpool for Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman, who is expected to leave Atlanta, and that's going to be next summer. Signing since he joined Ladia in the summer of 2022. Lookman has been one of the most consistent goal scorer in Serie A. Juventus is well aware of his capability, his strength, and of course his energy, especially after he scored a brace in the thrilling 3-3 draw against them in January 2023. The 27-year-old had an outstanding last season, helping his team achieve Europa League success. He notably scored an impressive hat-trick in the final against Bayern Leverkusen, and this season I'm talking about Lookman now has continued to be a key player, but his recent conflict with manager Gianpiero Gasperini may indicate the end of his time in Bergamo. Gasperini criticized Lookman, what happened after the disappointing penalty, and a lot of people reacted to it. Even Kano Nwankwo said, well, is he the first person that has ever missed a penalty? Has Ronaldo never in his life missed penalty? What about even Lionel Messi? Why would you criticize your key player for missing a penalty? It can happen anytime, any day. Now, his movement, what do you think about it? Should he go because of that? And if he should go, look at the options before him. Where do you think would be better for him? Juventus is right there. Liverpool in the English Premier League is also right there. What do you think of Ademola Lookman generally right now as it has to do with his movement? He said he's already spoken with his family and everyone is saying he should move. What about you? Are you of the same school of thought?
Yes, of course, I am. And, I really thank God he's going to see the season out. So that's what I've really been hoping for him, just to see this season out, because there's a chance that Atalanta can still win the league. But after this season, I think I'll prefer a move to Juventus, over Liverpool, because I feel, Juventus, Thiago Motta is actually building something special right there. Despite the fact that they are way behind, in the title race. But again, I really feel he's going to be a good fit at Juventus instead of Liverpool, because Liverpool, of course, Liverpool is a great team, but if you look at their attacking options, I feel he suits better in Juventus. This is the right time to move. I really hope he moves. The last time I was on the show, we talked about Atletico Madrid. That for me, that would have been the best option. But I think that talk has died down. So this is the right time to move. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing left to achieve. I mean, if they can manage to win the Serie A this season, which is not over, they're just 5 points behind Napoli in the title race. So if they can just achieve that, I think this would be the best time to leave Atalanta.
All right. Well, thank you very much, NB, for that analysis. Let's go talk about Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen a little bit. One of the things that makes some of these players have a lot of achievement and put them on global map is when they participate in the World Cup. And right now, Victor Osimhen, in form, I call him in form, Victor Osimhen, ahead of the Super Eagles World Cup qualifier, is putting all his hope right there. The Galatasaray striker is eager to feature in the 2026 World Cup qualifier for Nigeria under new coach Eric Chelle, as the Super Eagles hope to get the campaign back again on track in the next 2 games against Rwanda and of course Zimbabwe in March. And of course Osimhen is the most prolific Nigerian striker this season, and of course with 20 goals plus 5 assists in 25 games across all competitions for the Turkish club, where he is currently enjoying life on loan from from Napoli, and of course, the 26-year-old who missed the opening 4 games of the ill-fated series to injury is also yet to feature at the FIFA World Cup, and hope to help the country avoid missing out on the 2 consecutive editions. According to the information, he is eager to go play for the World Cup. You know, the last time he wasn't there, and it's been a very long time. He is eager to get there because we're talking about winning the Ballon d'Or, winning some trophies and some very crucial titles, and of course awards. You need to consider where that player has played, and of course one of the places that Victor Osimhen, despite his performances in with the Randler game, one of the places that he would have actually loved to play is wearing that green jersey, playing in the World Cup, so that everyone can see from around the world his capability. What do you think about Osimhen's statement and eagerness to play in the Super Eagles jersey for Nigeria during the World Cup?
Well, Victor Osimhen, as we all know, is in fact, I'll say, is the most eager striker in the whole world. He's eager to do everything, you know. That's why people love him. His hunger for the game, and of course, he wants to play his first World Cup. You know, as a global star like that, you know, someone who has achieved much in his short career, I think it's understandable to see why he's eager to play at the World Cup. And I really hope we see this eagerness on the pitch, because when you look at Nigeria's World Cup qualifying group now, it doesn't look quite good. But you know, just like I said, Osimhen, I mean, eagerness is just his trait. You know, that is why everyone wants to sign him. That is why he won the African Player of the Year a couple of years ago, because of that eagerness and that ability to deliver. So I mean, I'm not surprised. That is Victor Osimhen for you. Eagerness is his main trait. And so, you know, I just hope, you know, we see much more on the pitch because of all he has gone through this year, you know, mentally. I mean, the Napoli saga and how he ended up at Galatasaray. I really hope, you know, he puts that behind him and just on the pitch for Nigeria, which he has always done.
Okay, that's beautiful. Put everything behind you and just get focused. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we will hit the road running from the world of sport. My name is Ramsey. We'll return after this break. Welcome back. It is still Talk Sport live on your screen, reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital. It has been Talk Sport with Ramsey, and of course my guest is Mehdi Pembe, all the way from the Federal Capital Territory. And now let's go talk about Simon a little bit. I'm talking about Moses Simon, who was among the people who actually got the goal for his club. As a matter of fact, he was one of the scorers as Nantes returned to winning Wales in the league, won courtesy of a victory over Lens. Simon scored Nantes' second goal of the game from the penalty spot. But then when you want to talk about Moses Simon, I beg your pardon, and his performance in the Super Eagles and his performance in his club side, if you put it side by side, you will want to say, well, his performance is 50-50. Some persons will tell you he's doing better in his club. Some persons will tell you he's doing better when it comes to play for the Super Eagles. But then I don't know, what do you think about Victor Moses' performance? Remember, he got a goal in the club side's match that they play for the Super Eagles and Forest Club. What's the performance like for you, Pembi?
Well, I mean, I was not surprised. Moses Simon, just like you said, I think I belong to that school of thought that believe in that he performs 50-50 for both, because this is a player that's always giving 100% whenever he plays for Nigeria. And remember a couple of AFCONs back, he was our best player. I mean, he was just so good to watch. And Nantes has been his home. The fans adore him. He's always putting back to back match winning performances for them. I'm not surprised. I mean, because just like I said the last time you asked me about Moses Simon, the fella is quality. He's a good player. I mean, he's your typical winger. He can hold the ball, he can dribble, he can create chances, and that's all you need in a winger. So I'm not surprised, because that, for me personally, is one of my favorite Nigerian players, and the fact that he has been with the Super Eagles for so long, that tells you all.
Okay. For the fact that he's been with the Super Eagles for so long. Now let's talk about Manchester City. We're moving from Nigeria now, moving from Africa. Let's get to the globe now and look at the EPL once again, talking about one of our most reputable coaches that we have in the EPL, talking about Manchester City's manager Pep Guardiola. He has declared that no team will achieve the feat of winning 4 consecutive Premier League titles like he has done in Manchester City, or amass 100 points in a single season during his lifetime. Guardiola made the bold claim ahead of Man City's crucial clash against our current league leaders, talking about Liverpool, even though they actually lost that game. He said, well, I don't think there is any club that can win the trophy back to back 4 times, and of course amass the kind of points that we amassed so far. That's 100 points in his lifetime. He said he has never seen, and he's not going to see. Is he overblowing his trumpet, or you feel that's what it is?
Well, I mean, from the human perspective, we'll say, he's being boastful. This man, they boast to. He's making him out. Well, I mean, let's settle down and look at Pep Guardiola, what he has achieved since he came to Man City. I remember his first season, when he didn't do well, they didn't win anything. They barely ended 4th. And, people were saying, you've come to the Premier League now. Let's see what you can do. Well, since then, my person has won 6 Premier League titles. I mean, that tells you a lot, including 4 in a row. Getting up to 100 points. I mean, look, I personally, I don't used to like, before, I don't really like Guardiola. But now, I mean, he has shut me up. I mean, this man is a genius. And of course, he has the right to say that. Although, like I always say, football is full of, it's full of, a lot of surprises. A team can surprise us in the next, 10 years or so and do this. But again, when you look at it, I mean, he has earned the right to be boastful, because 100 points, winning the Premier League 6 times, including 4 in a row. I mean, what are we talking about?
All right. So you're giving it to him outrightly. All right, that's good. Now, Karaga is under fire for dismissing AFCON as not a major tournament. I'm talking about former Liverpool defender, if you remember, Jamie Karaga. He has sparked controversy after dismissing the African Cup of Nations as not a major tournament, while discussing Mohamed Salah's chances of winning the Ballon d'Or this year. Speaking on one of the most popular sports show after Liverpool's victory over Manchester City, Karaga suggested that Salah's nationality and Egypt's international record could hinder his chances of claiming football's most prestigious individual award, and that is the Ballon d'Or. And in his statement, he said he thinks the problem is that the is the fact that he is from Egypt, and of course he is probably not playing in the major tournament as much as maybe got a great chance of winning. Well, Carragher said he thinks it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally the player who excel in that, like Vinicius Junior and of course Kylian Mbappe right now, Real Madrid looking really good going for the Champions League, and he talked down on the African Cup of Nations, and of course for the fact that Mohamed Salah is from Egypt, he's never going to win the Ballon d'Or. What do you think of that statement? Some persons have actually come against him. Some persons came up to actually talk him down. Some other persons have actually crucified him. Not even Nigerians. Very important players from the EPL and other leagues have said, well, you can't say African Cup of Nations, the AFCON, is not recognized and not a competitive tournament around the world. What would you have to say about that statement coming from Carragher?
I mean, it's a shame, if you ask me. I mean, that's disrespectful. You know, it's a tournament that, you know, the biggest tournament in Africa, and you go about saying it's not a major tournament. What are we talking about? It's a tournament that is very competitive. It's a tournament that has had 4 different champions in the last 4 different editions. That tells you all. I mean, but I really hope again that CAF sees this comment as a challenge, you know, just to improve the quality of AFCON, because someone should, like Jamie Carragher, talking like this. It's a shame. It's a shame. He's not supposed to say that, you know, for someone of his, you know, caliber. Well, you know, just like I said, I told you, you know, I really hope CAF sees this statement and make it a challenge. Maybe he's looking at it from the perspective that, you know, the attendance of fans at AFCON is not really as much as the Euros or the Copa America or even the CONCACAF Gold Cup. But this is our own World Cup, you know. Many teams, you know, I remember when Mauritania qualified for AFCON a couple of sessions ago, and they were jubilant. The whole country was, you know, celebrating. And you look at that and you say it's not a major tournament. I mean, it's a shame. I really don't understand why Jamie Carragher talks like this sometimes. I remember he had a problem with Messi just a couple of, you know, years ago, that Messi went ahead to call him a donkey and all that, you know. But he shouldn't be talking this way. It's not. I mean, it's not respectful to Africa as a whole.
Oh, all right. It's not respectful. So good you are a Chelsea fan. Let me ask you this question, that Maresca admits that Chelsea depend too much on Palmer. Is that true? Because Enzo Maresca has challenged his misfiring Chelsea squad to step up during a Cole Palmer's lean spell, admitting that they rely on Cole Palmer for almost everything. Is that true?
Of course it's true. I mean, it's true. 100%. When he's not there, I mean, it's as if the team is just flat. When he's not on form, it's worse. You know, I really don't know when my team became like this, you know, dependent on one player. Despite the money spent, despite the amount of quality players we have, you know, one of the things that's affecting Chelsea now is the fact that Opama is not on form. And for a team that wants to compete for the league, wants to qualify for Champions League year in, year out, I mean, it's not. This shouldn't be happening. But I agree with him. I mean, I'm sure every Chelsea fan, I agree with him, because that's just the plain truth.
All right, as a Chelsea fan, and of course, he has agreed with what his coach has said. And as a matter of fact, Arsenal is going backward on the tenure of, Perez Morgan is telling Arteta that, as it is right now, he told Arsenal's manager, Mikel Arteta, that Gunners is going backward under his tenure. Morgan said this in a tweet via his X account after Arsenal were defeated against West Ham United in the Premier League. He also urged Arteta to stop being so damn stubborn and sign a world-class striker for Arsenal. Arsenal are currently 11th 7 points behind leaders Liverpool after the latest defeat to West Ham. But then some persons are saying Arsenal is not doing badly, even though some persons were not so happy that they didn't get players during the transfer window. What would you have to say about this? Should I call this an accusation or is a fact?
I mean, I don't agree with that. I don't. I tell you why. When Mikel Arteta took over Arsenal, where were they? Where are they today? I think he's just, a victim of his own success. Let me put it that way. I mean, this fellow took Arsenal in his first season. They were 10. He went ahead to win the FA Cup in his first season. He has made them to be a top two side in the past couple of seasons. Why would anybody say that? It's painful, yes, when you see your team not coming so close but not actually winning a title. But that's not fair. I mean, let's give Mikel Arteta kudos here. He has done a pretty fantastic job. And I disagree with Piers Morgan. I really do. I really do. Because Mikel Arteta, despite the fact that he hasn't won anything since the FA Cup, I mean, look at where Arsenal is today. He has done a pretty good job. And they're still in the Champions League. So why would anybody come out and say that he's underperforming? I mean, look at when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal in 2018 and Arsenal today. Have they improved? The answer is yes. And that is why I believe Mikel Arteta is doing a really good job.
Oh, all right. Let's quickly look at some of the fixtures from the Premier League today. We're just talking about the England clubs and the Premier League games. Well, some games will be going on during the weekend from the Premier League this very week. Let's look at today's games as Brighton will be taking on Bournemouth, and that game is going to be 8:30. Then Wolves and of course Fulham. Then Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. All these games will be 8:30 Nigeria time. Then there is one other game that has been separated from these other games that will be going down at 8:30 p.m. today, and that's the game that will be going down at 9:15 p.m. tonight, and that is when, as a matter of fact, Southampton will be traveling all the way to Chelsea. Your own club will be hosting, of course, Southampton today, and the time for that game is 9:15. Before we talk about these other games, the games going down at 8:30, which of these, what's your analysis of those games?
Well, I think the Brighton game is going to be interesting because of the fact that both teams are actually on form. So I really want to watch that game. I really think it's going to be the most interesting game of today. Chelsea Southampton. I'm expecting a one-sided affair. Southampton, just like I said last time I was on the show, I know football is full of surprises, but Southampton, looking at Southampton, I think it will be more than a miracle if they survive. If they don't go down this season. So I really want to watch the Brighton game because I feel it's the game of the day.
Okay, let's move away to the games that will be going down, of course, tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be another time again where some games will actually be going down still from the EPL. And of course, looking at the EPL this season, there is some form of competition between Liverpool and Arsenal. Some persons are of the school of thought that Arsenal is always having a near success syndrome. They are always getting very close, but they never got the trophy. This is not the first time they are in forefront. Is this season going to be any different for Arsenal?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't like to call Liverpool champions elect now because I feel it demeans the Premier League. But when you look at it from the human point of view and you analyze how the past season have gone, how all champions have been decided in the past 4 or 5 Premier League seasons, I mean, it's Liverpool's title to throw away now. Arsenal, I think it's a shame coming so for the past 4 seasons and not winning it even once. But I don't think anybody's going to top Liverpool. I just don't think so.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mendy. Time is not on our side. We won't be able to continue right here because the time is already running out. Tomorrow is another day. We will talk more tomorrow. A very big thank you to you for joining us on Talk Sport this morning, Mendy.
It's always my pleasure, Ramsey. Thank you so much.
All right, well, this is going to be the size of Talk Sport for this morning. But before I go, the matches that will be going down, someone is surprised. Why are we having some matches going down today, which is Tuesday, on Wednesday and Thursday from the Premier League? Well, that is what the schedule has right now. Let me quickly intimate us about the matches that will be going down tomorrow, where you have Brentford taking on, of course, Everton will be traveling to Brentford, and that game is going to be 8:30. The games are going to be played at night because of the fact that it is going to be not weekends. If it is weekends, we have them at 4 p.m. and earlier, sometimes 12 noon and down to even 8 o'clock, as the case may be, because some matches have been separated from others. But then for this weekday matches, we are having them somehow into late into the night, somehow 8:30. Everton will be traveling to play with, of course, Brentford. Then, of course, Nottingham Forest will be hosting Arsenal. Well, we just talked about Arsenal. Let's see if the game is going to be changing for them this time. If they win this game, they are going to step up their game a little bit. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. Then Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester City. Even though Pep Guardiola said no club will equal what they've got so far, because if you look at the antecedent, winning the trophy back-to-back severally, and of course amassing 100-pointer is a feat that no coach has surpassed so far, and he has said, well, in his lifetime he has never seen and he's not going to see. Well, let's see how that game will go tomorrow as they travel all the way to play with Tottenham Hotspur. 8:30 is the time for that game. Then the last game for tomorrow, which is also going to be 8:30, is when Ipswich will be traveling to play with Manchester United. Manchester United is one club that a lot of people cannot talk about. Even their fans are not being boastful. They are not talking right now because of their performance. But then someone will say the departure of of course Ten Hag should be the beginning of wisdom for Manchester United. But then we're yet to see the handwriting boldly written on the wall, yet to know where Manchester United is actually heading this time. And then one of the games that has been separated from all the game is that between Newcastle United, as they will be traveling to play with the all-fire and powerful Liverpool, who are right now topping the league in the Premier League from England. Of course, that game has been separated from other games. It's going to be 9:15 p.m. That game is going to be coming up tomorrow. Go watch these games and get yourself satisfied. Then we also have the match for tomorrow, which is going to be West Ham United and Leicester City, and that game is going to be at 9 p.m. Nigeria time. As a matter of fact, these are the games. The match is going down in the English Premier League, that is EPL, all the way from England, and that's going to be weekdays, not weekends anymore. But then we will come back tomorrow to analyze the games that will be played today. Who is going to get it right? Who is going to get it wrongly? Who is going to get to the top of the table? And who is going to be moving to relegation? And of course, who is going to be descending on the league table? It's going to be so wonderful from the Premier League this week. You know what we are talking about right now. But then I wish all the clubs that will be playing different games, I wish them all the best. Let's see what will happen tomorrow. I will return again to give you more stories from the world of sport. Either myself or my colleague will be right here tomorrow, Wednesday. Odi will be right here to give you the necessary information that you need as far as the games going down today is concerned. Stay connected to Global Television. In fact, as a matter of fact, we are on right now on DSTV channel 360. 265, and of course Star Times channel 276. And don't forget to download the Global TV Nigeria app from your Play Store and of course Apple Store. The blue app is right there, and that is where you can catch up with every of our broadcasts on Global Television around the world. My name is Ramsey Enoch. It's good to have you join us on TalkSport this morning, and we will call it a wrap right here as we return tomorrow with another sweet, fantastic and intriguing moment from the world of sport. Remember that sport ignites, sport unites, sport day and night. Bye-bye for now.